Hello everybody, Andrea Turowski here, and thank you so much for being a part of this, because I'm sure a lot of you are curious, or you would not be here, about how somebody like me, who went from making about $45 per hour, who now works for herself from home and is loving it. Okay, for a lot of you, if you are either a dental assistant or a dental hygienist, you completely understand that it takes a special person to work in the dental profession because we are always on the go. We are always doing something. We see a lot of different people, very exciting people, some not so exciting people every single day, and we always have to be happy. We have to be smiling. We have to be on the go constantly because if we're behind, then the patients aren't happy. We're not happy. We don't get a lunch. We're out at 6 instead of 5. You know, it's a very tough profession, but it's also a very exciting one too because you get to see new patients every day. You get to see some of the same patients every 3, 4, or 6 months, so everything's nice, and when you're seeing those nice patients, it makes a big difference. But things have changed. Now, I've been a hygienist now for about 13 years, and I went to school to be a restorative hygienist. I've been a restorative hygienist now for about 2 years. And I did that because at the time, my boss had simply said to me, do you mind going to school to be a restorative hygienist because I need the help? It was not something that I ever thought of. In fact, I did not want to go back to school ever again because the hygiene program was tough for me. In fact, I took the hygiene program twice, not because I failed, but because my first school shut down about 3 weeks before I was supposed to graduate. So it took me about 4 years and a lot of money to become a hygienist. But obviously I loved it, and I still do, or I wouldn't have done that, right? I was a dental assistant first. I started age 19. As I said, I became a hygienist after that. It took about 4 years, so a long time. And then I became a restorative hygienist. It's been about 2 years now. But so I've been in the profession now for 13 years. And when I was younger, I didn't mind working 8:30 till 5:30 every day. I didn't mind working Saturdays. I didn't mind having maybe a 15-minute lunch on some days. I didn't mind. But I've been with my fiance now for about 3 years. And we have a dog who's 2 years old, Daisy. We have Lily, who's about 10 months old now. She's also our fur baby, we like to call her, so we do not have any kids yet. But it got to the point where I was working all the time. I would have to wake up at 6 in the morning. My other office, where I used to work, was about an hour away because I did move in that time. So it would take me an hour to get to work and then an hour home. The office was busy. We had 30-minute appointments, 30 to 40-minute appointments at the most, so I was always behind. I was done at 5, which meant 6, which usually meant 6:30, and then having to go home. I'd be home by 7:30, exhausted, and then having to do it all again the next day. But I also didn't like the fact that I would get maybe a half an hour lunch if I was lucky. A 15-minute lunch was usually how it was, and there was just never any help. People would often ask me why I didn't take the full lunch. My boss would ask me why he's paying me more because I'm not taking the full lunch, and I'd say, well, nobody helps me. When a patient's late, we still see them. I still have to clean up the room, set up the room. If somebody would help me do that, that would make a big difference, but there was never anybody available. So I did love what I did if I could simply see patients all day, do what I'm trained to do, have the help so I'm not behind. I think I would have loved it and love it a lot more. So I was at the point where, you know what, I can't do this full time. I'm exhausted. So I cut back my hours to part-time. And that's when I've also been a tutor for dental hygiene and dental assisting students also because I love to teach. in a nice positive way. I like to teach new students that this is exciting, but you need to work for a good office. I like to teach, and I like to help people, but I didn't want to go back to school again to be a teacher. So that's why I started my own thing. It's been really hitting off, I'd say, the past 5 years or so. So I do tutor from home also. So fast forward a little bit. So I work part-time. I work Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and I tutor from home on the Mondays and Tuesdays, and this is all online, so it's super easy, and I tutor on Sunday for about an hour. That's it. But as I looked at my taxes, I realized that I actually make more money tutoring. By working a lot less, I get to do it from home. I get a full lunch. It's not stressful. And I don't have to deal with crazy patients all day. I love the patients, but sometimes there are some crazy ones. And again, I can work from home. So I kind of said to myself, you know what? I want to work from home. I couldn't not work because I feel like I did go to school for a long time, right? So I don't want to completely give that up. And I've been a restorative hygienist as well. But where I'm working, I'm not utilizing that skill because they don't need me. My boss went from needing me to just not needing me at all. So I kind of feel like school was not a waste, because it never is. But if I had known that I'd be getting maybe a couple hours a week doing restorative, and I'm just being honest, I wouldn't have went to school. So I kind of said to Tom, my fiance, I said, I want to work part-time. I would like to work even a little less than part-time. I would like to find something doing restorative maybe a day or two a week, that's it, and the rest to work from home. And that's why I'm working from home a lot more now, because I've been able to pick and choose my hours a little bit more, which is amazing. Because I find for hygiene, if you do it full time, you do quickly get burnt out. And it's not because of the patients, it's because we have to work so hard. We don't get paid nearly as much as we used to. We're not appreciated as much as we have been in the past. And other people in the office see us as, oh, well, you're a dental hygienist making so much money, so you have to do this, this, and this, and this, and this, where the other office members maybe don't have